And welcome to Saltbox Episode 2, or whatever I feel like calling this video. This video almost didn't happen because it took about an hour of troubleshooting just to figure out why the fuck Metakite wasn't coming in as loudly as I am. Now go ahead and triumphantly introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Metakite1. We were trying to get this working for about an hour and I was coming out too quiet.
Oh, thank Naga, it's working.
Oh, finally. Oh, it's finally working. I'm so glad.
Okay, so before we jump into the actual topic, I want to surprise you with the recurring question that I want to become a thing on the Saltbox. And ironically, knowing that you are sour, hence the lemons, don't ask me how I know what flavor you are. But what is making you salty right now?
What's making me salty right now?
Yep.
Is that Sigurd lost the vote and got... Ah!
Yeah, that salt is definitely
I'm
real.
so salty.
I think that salt is very validated, too.
There was just nothing that could be done about it.
Yeah, we were at the mercy of the multipliers. I really thought Sigurd was actually going to win that one.
I thought so too, but just Tharja didn't get enough points forward and we didn't get a multiplier again for that final hour, so that's still the deal.
Yeah, it went exactly how I predicted it in the Discord. I told everyone that if the multipliers continue to flip and flop the way they were back and forth the whole time, Sigurd would have been the one that ended up with the final multiplier and would have won from that. But they ended up somehow having the same points, and it broke the multipliers, and that's how Tharja won.
Oh, man.
So I guess at the end of the day, you can't really blame anything other than the multipliers, I guess. Fucking multipliers!
Oh, no.
But,
Oh, boy.
the Devs Say Thanks arena duels actually inspired a lot of ideas as I was playing through it. Because when I was playing the... have you played the Devs Say Thanks maps yet?
Yeah, I've played all of them.
Did you beat him on Lunatic? Did you beat him on Lunatic?
I'm sorry, say again?
Ah, I must be breaking up. Did you beat the Devs Say Thanks maps on Lunatic?
I beat most of them on Lunatic, but I think one of them I actually caved and used one of those revived pendant thingies.
Oh boy, which one was that one? The wall?
Let me check which one it was.
It's probably the wall.
No, the iron wall was actually fine for me. I did it on light and breezy.
Really? It definitely wasn't the foursome, the alluring four. Fucking what? Jagan and Gunter? But as I was playing those, it kind of felt like that those were arena duels, but better and not stale.
Oh.
Because they had like the cool skills and stuff, and it was the four of them. And granted, if you touch the level number, it didn't tell you how merged they were, but it felt exactly like an arena duel, and like a really good arena duel because it's not, you know, the guaranteed Naui, Reinhardt, or Brave Lynn that we see every fucking time.
Yeah.
So as I was playing these, it got me thinking about my previous ideas about being able to form up into guilds or factions or armies or whatever is the correct linguistics for Fire Emblem. And just being able to group together and do unique stuff like maybe the leader of the guild could do something called issuing a challenge, where it's basically his arena team. So like if I were to issue a challenge, you would face my arena team, and if you could beat it or beat it deathless, you would get a reward. And that would be like maybe a weekly thing that you could do with the guild. Maybe get not even anything too ridiculous as far as rewards, maybe feathers or coins, refinement stones, even badges. And then,
yeah, we certainly need another way to get badges because those come in so little count from the training tower, and you need a lot to upgrade your sacred seals.
Heck, I would take nothing as a reward if it was a new game mode at this point. I've been feeling like that Fire Emblem Heroes has been kind of stale, despite the fact that the big update came out, what, 2-3 weeks ago? Is like the game been feeling kind of stale for you too?
It's getting a little bit repetitive.
And I also thought of a brand new item that they could come out with that would definitely make all of the players happy. There's nobody that could possibly say something negative about this item. And I call it the SP potion.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh.
You simply give it to one of your units, and they instantly gain like maybe 50 SP on the spot.
Oh, that would be super nice. Like merging without needing to merge.
Yeah.
Getting more SP.
Granted, I think if they were to implement something like SP potion, you would probably get like less SP out of it than simply merging a 4-star character into the one you're trying to get additional SP from, because otherwise what's the point of merging lower star units into higher star ones in the first place then? But I think the item would put a little bit of relief on the player base as a whole, and I think that would definitely be a high value item that people would want to get too.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would certainly reduce the grind.
Especially when I'm trying to give Hinoka the carrot, if you know what I mean. I did that live during one of my streams. I gave Hinoka the carrot lance.
I saw that in shriek in horror.
Oh, but it's so good though. Her stats look amazing now with the carrot lance.
Oh man.
With Fury 3 equipped, I believe her stat spread is now 52 attack, 32 speed. I realized that my Hinoka was plus defense minus speed. Her defense was 32, and I believe her resistance is 27. So that is a really nice stat spread, I think.
Nice.
With the Brave Lance, her spread looked kind of ugly. It was like 45 attack and 27 speed. But it looks a lot better now. Puts my mind at ease. And the fact that Fury and Carrot Lance combo pretty well with the HP restoration. Anyway, I got a little bit off topic there, but I was thinking that if they ever were to implement guilds or factions, the guild as a whole could earn RP, reputation points, for participating in Conquest, the Conquest mode that I mentioned in one of my previous videos. Are you already familiar with my Conquest idea?
Conquest? No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, so long story short, I suggested that a Conquest mode could be something like Voting Gauntlet, but much more expanded and much less heavy in the voting department, where you pick maybe the side of an army, like 4 different countries are vying for control of the continent, and you choose to support one of the armies, or one of the countries, and as the country, you would all like select points on a map to participate in, and you go into the battle, and maybe there's certain conditions, like maybe if a point you control is under attack, when you go into that map to defend, you have to play a defense map and last for a certain amount of rounds, and you would gain points based off of how well you do in those battle maps, and your enemies, if they were attacking, they would get points based off their performance in the maps, and after like maybe an hour or so time limit, you compare the points, whichever one's bigger gets to keep that location, and obviously one country would begin to get stronger and be able to invade the other countries and take more and more territory. So obviously maybe defense would be easier as opposed to attacking, so that way when a country starts to expand its territory, it would become both harder and easier to continue to expand to take over the entire country. So maybe, the one that's clearly winning wouldn't have so much of an advantage that there's no point for the smaller countries now that have less territory to even compete. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
I see.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
So by participating in Conquest, Arena Assault, Voting Gauntlet, etc., you could get reputation points because members of your guild are actively playing the game, and you could use those points to grant boosts to the guild as a whole, or maybe use these points in order to issue challenges to get rewards from, or just simply grant the rewards themselves, or even grant cosmetic items, like maybe the banner at the top of the screen, make it like a different pattern or color, or maybe even different colors and such for your castle and whatnot.
Ooh. Yeah, we already have a bunch of different castle patterns right now. It'd be nice if they added some more.
Or even a different background picture for like your supported or summoner supported character too.
Oh yeah, because right now we just have the courtyard, but it'd be nice if we had other locations as well, like the like maybe someplace else in the Askren castle. Maybe there's some kind of fancy dining hall with a chandelier or something like that, or maybe even a wedding hall with a stained glass window. Stained glass window would be pretty cool.
Or you could even do backgrounds from places in the Fire Emblem series as a whole. Like, I remember a lot of the art of locations in Path of Radiance were really good. Like Goldoa and Dayan's Keep. Or maybe we could even go into genealogy and look at those wide, sprawling, vast landscapes, or even we could simply have, a bonfire of Sigurd in the background.
Oh
no! The burning just doesn't stop.
Oh no!
But there could also be like a leaderboard for the guilds too, kind of like in the arena. Maybe the guild with the most points can take like higher spots in that ranked leaderboard. Maybe get some rewards from that even. I mean, it could even be the smallest thing, and the community would be really happy with it. Is there any improvements to the game that you can think of that you'd want to see?
Oh, say again?
Is there any improvements to the game that you can think of that you would want to see?
Events?
Or just anything added to the game? Can't think of anything?
Some kind of events.
Or just anything added to the game. I think your connection might be shitty.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, am I coming in like really spotty?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, you're coming in a little spotty too. Luckily for
Oh, no,
me,
okay.
I'm the source, so I'm not breaking up at all on this recording.
Oh, good. Is this any better?
I guess. Can you think of anything that you would want to see added to the game?
Something that I'd like to see added to the game. Something I would like to see added to the game actually. There in other games, there's a system where you can collect different kinds of seals, and then there's this seal shop where you can trade in for backgrounds and even different characters.
Like
What would be
sacred
nice to
seals.
be added into Fire Emblem Heroes is some kind of way, maybe, to get older characters that you've missed. I mean, I'm aware they're all in the scouting pool, so
Yeah,
the summoning
like,
pool, I mean, but maybe to make it easier to get some kinds of units that you want, because I have to say the summoning pool has gotten way too big for its own good.
oh yeah, we can all agree with that one. We don't need to beat a dead Sigurd. We don't need. We don't need to burn a roasted Sigurd.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's another thing I mentioned in one of my previous videos, was fixing the summoning pool in any way, shape, or form. Hell, I'd even take, you know, a bunch of 1 and 2 star units added to it randomly. I don't care, just fucking do something.
Yeah, maybe add more 1 and 2 stars to some kind of shop somewhere so you can trade and get more 1 and 2 star units. Because even if they start out small, you can build them up.
I didn't even think of a shop. What if Fire Emblem Heroes added some sort of gold system? So now we'll have like orbs, feathers, and maybe GP up at the top of the banner. And Fire Emblem Heroes can have some sort of shop where you could finally buy some of our currencies, like maybe feathers, coins, stones, badges, other helpful items like elixirs, lights, blessings. So this way, our accounts will be more unique than the next person. Like, I really want some way that we can choose to, like, gain coins or refinement stones, maybe even divine dew, and we can kind of choose the way our account can go, choose our own path, so it's not like we have the same exact opportunity at the same exact amount of currency as the next person.
I see. So like having some kind of shop where you can exchange items you have too much of for something that you don't have enough of.
Or even that could work too. Some sort of exchange thing. I don't think I would like to see an exchange or a bartering system, because you know that you would have to kind of undersell yourself, because you're not going to be able to do 1 for 1. You're not going to be able to trade, say, 1 elixir for 1 light's blessings. You know, it's going to be some sort of, you know, negative ratio where you're trading 5 of 1 item to turn that into 1 of something else. I think I'd rather see some sort of currency and a shop. Like, hell, like Fate Go or Fate Grand Order, when that one came out, it had like all the stuff all ready to go. It had a friend point system. It had a way where you could interact with your friends list in some way. It had a shop. It had, you know, premium currency. It had a free summoning thing. Like, granted, you're not going to get really cool stuff from it, but you're going to get stuff. Like, I suggested having a separate but, like, other banner that's always in existence, and when you summon on it, you could get, like, a 1 or 2 star and you would get some items along with it, and they would use some sort of easy-to-get currency like friend points, not even necessarily feathers.
Yeah, some kind of friend point system would be nice. Maybe if you could summon 1 and 2 star unit.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
So I always thought the 5 feathers that you get from your friends list was always felt like a middle finger to me.
Yeah, it's kind of odd considering how many feathers you really need.
Yeah, especially considering that it takes 2,000 feathers to turn a 3-star into a 4-star. That is, yeah,
There's
5 feathers is totally going to make a dent.
Not really, no.
And another improvement to the game, touching on the interactivity with the friends list yet again, is you know, some sort of skirmish. Pick someone from your friends list and fight their arena team. Fuck it. Just, you know.
Yeah, that would be really fun. I'd love to try fighting against the arena teams on my friends list.
Yeah, and it would not be hard at all to implement. You just go into the friends list, click a name, and then, like, enter skirmish, yes, and then you just fight the arena team. Unless they're like, my tiny little conspiracy theory is that maybe IS is withholding a lot of these modes and whatever else that they come up with, and they're just releasing them very spaced out to keep the game fresh and keep its life cycle much longer.
Yeah, because you can only imagine how much time it took to create Book 2. That whole cutscene and all the new units and everything.
Yeah. To be completely fair, you wouldn't want to just, if you were a business, you wouldn't want to just release all of your good stuff at once, because once people have experienced that and they've, you know, done it a couple times, then it gets stale, and what's, you know, to get them coming back again, you don't have anything left. You gave them everything already. So they have to be holding on to a couple things.
Definitely, yeah. Oh, another thing I'd like to see is maybe more beast units.
Oh, yeah. How
can we get more beast units?
Wow. That would have been a crying shame if we would have forgot about that. Especially you. Your favorite character is Caden.
Yeah, my favorite character is Caden. Please bring Caden to the game somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow. I'll take him.
The most prominent beast units, for the most part, come from the Radiant series with the Lagoos and all the different types of beast shifters. You had the hawks, the ravens, the dragons, the cats, the tigers, the lions, and eventually the wolves, too.
Wow.
Lions, tigers, and bears,
all
oh my.
Those units need to be added to the game as well. And the there was a top 20 list of units that are on the Choose Your Legends that haven't been added into the game, and it's mostly 4 of the units are Beast Stone characters.
Yeah, it's got like let's see, it's got Caden, Valoria. I haven't gotten the Conquest yet, so I forgot the wolf guy's name again.
Keaton and Valoria.
Oh yeah, was Keaton. But I also want to mention that I actually think that graphic is only very slightly wrong, because during the CYL event, you were actually able to vote for Radiant Dawn Ike as a completely separate character from normal Ike. So I think he still counts in that top 20. Because he would actually be above Micaiah. I'm actually surprised regular Ike still got enough votes, despite having Radiant Dawn Ike dividing the votes nearly in half. But just because of the fact that he was counted separately in the Choose Your Legends event, I feel like that we're still going to see yet another Ike in the game, which I'm really excited for, obviously.
Because I know how much you like Ike.
Yeah, but if they did come out with a Radiant Dawn banner, I don't think Radiant Dawn Ike is going to show up in it, because that would actually not be a good idea in my opinion, because I think the most prominent banner they could possibly come up with is obviously the Dawn Brigade, and Ike wasn't part of the fucking Dawn Brigade. Yeah, the main characters were Makai and Soph. Let's not get that confused. Ike is definitely a popular character, but he wasn't, you know, quote-unquote, the main character of Radiant Dawn. But yeah, oh man, they've included the dragons in the game, and underwhelmingly so, surprisingly. So I've mentioned in a previous video that dragons are normally like the strongest beings in any game ever, and it felt like in Fire Emblem Heroes they're like the weakest ones.
There aren't enough of them. We have Ninian. Is it Ninian that has the
Fortify?
She has that C skill.
Yeah, she's the only one that's got a dragon C skill, I believe.
Yeah.
There's no ward or goad dragons. There's no hone. Hone's probably the most important anyway. But then again, at the same time, I think they didn't include hone dragons purposely, just because of the fact that the breath was considered as a magical attack. So I think they were kind of taking a step back and making sure that the dragons weren't too powerful. But they may have kind of fixed the power disadvantage in the weapon refinery update. With the fact that they can hit ranged units on whatever bulk stat happens to be weak, which is actually pretty crippling. I'm seeing Naui all the time in arena. Have you been seeing Naui in your arena battles?
Oh, I actually
any dragon
don't
units?
Play too many arena battles, so I'm not aware. But in the last voting gauntlet, I actually faced a team of 3. Well, maybe not a team, but they were all Naui.
Oh god.
There were 2 dragon Nauis and 1 tomed Naui on a flyer, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have 3 sword units. How am I supposed to beat this?
The lolly squad is after you. Oh man, I had a Naui from my friends list constantly showing up in my voting gauntlet battles to help me out, and it was such a Naga send. Pun on God. It was such a Naga send that she showed up once, because I actually ended up going against an entire team of 3 brave Lins, and now we had Bowbreaker, and it was the best thing ever.
Nice.
Was able to bait and counter each and every one of them. Oh man, feels good, man. But I was also thinking along the lines of multiplayer. What if there was some sort of co-op in Fire Emblem Heroes?
Oh.
Could you imagine going into like special maps and there's maybe they would call it like this was another one of my ideas from a previous video, a raid boss mode, and maybe they would call it something like Ultimate Hero Battle or something, and you could go against some of the more epic bosses in Fire Emblem Heroes. Obviously you wouldn't be able to recruit them, like maybe for example you could go against the Shadow Dragon, you could go against Grima, Ashera, 4 Mortis. maybe even Surtur.
Oh,
So like you could go into the
that'd be
map,
so neat.
and it has like some sort of time limit, and you go into the map and battle on it, wipe out a couple of the pawn units that the boss happens to have, and then you try and use your units to deal as much damage as possible to the boss. And the boss maybe has some sort of ridiculous HP, like 100,000 HP, and it's up to everyone in the game of Fire Emblem Heroes to participate and whittle down that HP bit by bit.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually see Surtur very easily being one of these kind of raid bosses, especially because of that epic effect he has on his weapon, where anything next to him automatically takes 20 damage.
Ooh.
So that definitely hurts your longevity. So whatever you're going to do, you're going to do a little bit of damage. He's going to mop the floor with you. You'll get, kicked out, but you did some damage to him. You contributed. And then you would get, points based off your contribution, which could easily be however much damage you dealt to the boss, and you receive a reward, or you get ranked based off how many points you got from that.
Oh, some kind of ranking system, like how it works in the Voted Gauntlet and Tempest Trials as well. Those have ranking systems as well.
Yeah, or even Arena. I mean, this isn't like hard stuff to do, in my opinion. I'm not a developer or a programmer or anything like that, but I'm trying to base my ideas off things that already exist, and possibly even mechanics that already exist in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Mm-hmm. Like certainly your Conquest idea, it sounds really cool. I don't think it would take too much work to implement one, because it shares a lot of different mechanics with Voting Gauntlet and something else. It's escaping me.
Yeah, it would definitely need a bit of a interface overhaul, but I tried to use as many things that already existed in Fire Emblem Heroes in the first place to kind of cushion the idea so it sounds a bit better, a little bit more sexy, more alluring, unlike the 4 from the developer thanks maps. Oh my god. I still can't get over that. Because when I first went into that map and I saw fucking Gunter in there, and Jagan, I was like, you've got to be fucking with me. No way this guy's actually using these units. Come on.
Oh, man.
To be fair, he was using Zephiel, but then he also had Agma in there. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I guess. You can play with the characters you like, I suppose.
You can make any character great if you love them enough.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of characters that I kind of would normally not even think twice about. I've seen a lot of people put a lot of time, effort, and resources into, and made them a unit that I would actually legitimately use and maybe put on my main team. Like, I've seen some Red Tome Henrys that looked pretty damn powerful.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because his defense is really high.
Yeah.
For a mage.
Have you seen my carrot man?
Which one?
Spring Xander.
Oh, yeah, Spring Xander.
Yeah, I gave him
the original Carrot Man.
Yeah, I gave him Fortress defense, and then I refined his carrot to give him additional defense boosts, which kicked his defense up to 46.
Oh wow!
And of course, I gave him Ignis.
Makes me want to try building my Carrot Xander.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, he does a much better job at tanking than Clive does. Clive's got like a solid 35 defense. But despite the fact that Spring Xander's attack is so low, he does make it up with his like below average speed. It's not so low that it's not salvageable. But with a fortified defense buff, he can get up to 50 defense. And that's just one little buff. It's pretty crazy, I think. I've actually been having a lot of fun using Spring Xander, but...
Very cool.
Oh, well, since we're on the topic, you put a lot of resources into your Jacob, haven't you?
I did. I have. He probably has... He has all sorts of different daggers now. He has Poison Dagger, he has Smoke Dagger, he has Kitty Paddle even.
Just pick one.
There's a whole bunch of different builds that I play around with my Jacob. I don't use my Jacob solely for a single build either. If I just want to go for just pure glass cannon power, I go with a Smoke Dagger plus refined with a little more speed, and then life and death.
Huh.
But then if I just want to use my Jacob to kill off mages, I switch to Kitty Paddle plus with Fury 3.
Jeez. Jacob.
He's very versatile because his defense and resistance are roughly the same.
Huh. Does he have decent speed? Because if he doesn't have decent speed, did you put quick riposte on him?
Oh, I don't have any quick riposte fodder right now, but right now I'm going to try to kind of shoehorn some Vantage 3 in there because at first I had Poison Strike on him, but now he's hitting hard enough so to the point where Poison Strike doesn't do a thing.
Wow.
So I eventually want quick riposte on him, but for now I'll just put Vantage on him.
Huh. Did you put Desperation on him?
I'm sorry?
Did you put Desperation on him? Desperation from a 4-star Shanna?
Oh, yeah, I do want to summon a 4-star Shanna somewhere in my free summons, please.
Okay. So you've S-supported your Jacob. Didn't you give him Life and Death?
Yeah, I gave him Life and Death.
I think I remember seeing that in one of your screenshots.
Ah.
So I think the only dagger user that I'm using at the moment is obviously Jafar, because he's probably one of the biggest benefiters of the update so far, with his Deathly Dagger getting a huge upgrade. Pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, I have a Jafar as well. Kind of sad that dagger isn't inheritable.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a good thing, so that way you won't kill a Jafar needlessly.
Right.
I mean, that would be like me foddering off a Lucina to give Falchion to Ike.
Oh my goodness.
That would actually be pretty cool. If you could give Falchion to Ike and then give him Distant Counter.
Oh dear.
And he would just recover 10 HP every 30 turns. That would be nuts. Oh man. That would be really cool.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. People were talking about giving Jafar Savage Blow and then Savage Blow Seal and then Poison Strike 7 for just absolute massive non-lethal damage, especially AoE damage. Hell, even more damage than you would get out of one of those AoE special procs. Like, Holy shit.
Yeah, right now I'm actually going to try to build a Lucius with the refined pain plus staff.
Oh, man.
So I'm I'm working on him.
Yeah, you saw during my unit reviews that I reviewed Alyssa that had Pain Plus and then Savage Blow and Savage Blow Seal.
Oh man, the double Savage Blow.
Yeah, I actually took a screenshot of that during the live stream. I think I still have it somewhere. That was nuts. But I bring that up because I was actually thinking of taking my Jafar in a slightly more unique direction, in which I give him, of course, Savage Blow in the C slot, but for the Sacred Seal, I give him Attack Smoke, and then in the B slot, I give him Seal Speed. So this way, his Deathly Dagger debuffs the target and nearby allies with -7 to defense and res. The Seal Speed will debuff the target, 7 speed, and then the allies will get debuffed with -5 attack.
Ooh.
Debuff Spectrum.
Wow.
It's probably not nearly as efficient as murdering everything with, like, let's see, 10, 7, 24 area damage. I mean, on Discord,
24.
I told people that death is the best debuff in the game. But I figured...
Death. Oh dear.
Yeah, you can't fight back when you're dead.
It's the best debuff.
Yeah! It makes a lot of
my.
sense, don't it?
It does.
But yeah, I thought it would be fun to try that massive debuff kind of build too. Although Clarice kind of has the title of Queen of Debuffs with her, you know, bow and etc.
Yeah, the Smoke Dagger Plus as well, refined, has really good debuffing ability. It's -6 to attack, speed, defense, and resistance.
Oh man.
It's incredible.
Or you could just do that. Forgot about that. Well, that's not nearly as much as 7.
Yeah, it isn't as much as 7, but it's still.
I just figured it was worth the thought, at least. I remember I talked to Skides about doing like a top 10 things that need to be added to Fire Emblem Heroes. And I think this was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Obviously, we never got around to doing it. But I think... I wish I could remember exactly what we put down on our list. We listed off like maybe 15 things, and then we were going to sort through it later when we were ready to record, but we never got around to doing it. Do you have any more ideas before we close up this video?
Not on mind at the moment.
Well, alrighty then. That'll conclude this episode of the Salt Box, or whatever I feel like calling it this time. Probably the Salt Box, but... Alrighty, guys, we'll see you next time.
See you.